What is going on, penny boys and gals? What's going on, stock traders? And welcome to our trading psychology class. This is almost like a pop-up, a live trading psychology class. I know we typically do our trading psychology streams every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and Nikki's taken over those and she's been doing a amazing book club, as well as Rosebud Thorn exercise every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So I wanted to I was missing doing the weekly psychology lessons and classes, and so we're gonna do one today, and then we're gonna follow this up with some trivia. That part will not be on the recording though, so let's get right into it. I see Chag in the chat explaining how to mute people. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen for those who are watching after the fact on YouTube or wherever we end up posting this. I'm gonna go ahead and share the Discord. So, and all you who are here live, just so you all are aware, everyone who's watching after the fact is going to be able to see what y'all are typing in the chat. Just a full disclosure. So there we go. So I got the chat up, so now people can see what is going on, and let's get right into the class. Yeah, you had to block someone to mute the text, Duco. I don't even know who you're referring to be honest with you. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that's very often overlooked when it comes to just the world of trading, or just education of trading, and that's to be the relationship between risk management and perception of money. So as we all know, trading at its core is basically just a game of probabilities. It's about managing risk, not eliminating it. That's why all of us, every single trader here, has losses. It's part of the game. It's not about how many losses you take or not taking losses or more wins. It has nothing to do with any of that. This is about how you manage your risk and make sure that those losses are not outweighing your wins. Because at the end of the day, it's all about being profitable. It's not about having a certain win percentage rate that you can post onto Facebook or social media. So once again, it's not about eliminating risk, it's about managing it. So how do we as traders approach risk? Is it solely a mathematical calculation, or is there more to it? Well, part of the answer partly lies in understanding our perception of money. So before we even get into any of this, who here thinks, just in the chat, you could say, me or I do or whatever, who here thinks that they have a relatively healthy perception of money, and who here thinks maybe that they struggle with having a healthy perception of money? And this is before we even go into what it is. I'm just curious to see in the chats what people think. And then we'll be going into what perception of money is and how it all works and all that, and why some of us might have good perceptions of money, or healthy perceptions, or maybe even some unhealthy ones. A lot of it does, of course, have to do with your upbringing and experiences. Some people, well, I know Pookie's Revenge and Austin is very highly documented. How they both have had their ups and their downs, as far as life goes. I know Pookie's was recently, just today actually, in the chat, was talking about how he lived in his car at one point. Or no, so that was Austin who was saying that. Austin's lived in his car at one point. Pookie's has gone on the record multiple times talking about that as well. So for them, they've been through experiences, upbringings, that might give them a different perception of money that somebody who, like a trust fund kid might have, or, someone who's never experienced that hardship, or, that rock bottom per se, to really appreciate money and to really be able to respect it. And so maybe, somebody who might have a trust fund kid mentality might have a quote unquote unhealthy relationship with money, a perception of money that might also stem into their trading, into the market, and how they perceive stock trading and the market. And so it's really important to understand what your perception of money is, so that you can then understand what strengths and weaknesses you might naturally have, once again based on your upbringing and experiences, that could translate into your trading. And because once again, it's about finding which strategy works best for you. It's not about forcing a strategy. What works for Pookies might not work for you. What works for Snowflake might not work for Duco. What works for Duco might not work for Stickman. And that's why we don't teach just one strategy and have one guru here. We have Pookies, we have Ethan. Ethan does a completely different day trading strategy with options than Pookies does. And Bull has his own strategy, and Lee has his. And then we have Jay, who has a completely different strategy than anyone, because he doesn't even look at the fundamental analysis, and he's all about the charts. And so, there's not one way that's better than another, but it's just, these are all different ways. It's about finding which way, might work best for you as a person, not even just as a trader, but as a person. And, psychology, these Wednesday sessions that we do every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, this is a big way of helping you figure out, what, actually not what, but who you are, as a person, as a trader, and what strategies might be best geared towards you. Like, I always say Tom Brady, if he tried to play running back, he'd be looked upon as a bad football player. We all know that Tom Brady is not a bad football player. As quarterback, he's one of the greatest football players of all time. And so there's a lot of you out there who might be geared towards being a quarterback and are trying to play running back right now. And you're not a bad trader. You're just not a good running back. And that's fine. You might not be a good day trader, and it's fine. It might be because of your perception of money. It might be because of some kind of cognitive biases or your schedule, whatever it might be. And that's totally fine. It's about finding out what does work for you, and not trying to force it. So let me just read the chats really quick. Duck's about to bamboozle y'all. First time streets, car. Second time woods. So woods over the streets. Or did you have like a tent and stuff, or was it just like? Well, I know you've been in the military though, so I feel like you've been through your your uncomfortable sleeping situations probably prior. Or was that? I don't even know. I don't know. I don't want to go through your whole life story and put you on blast, Pookies, but maybe one of these days we'll do a podcast and really get into it. I still do plan on doing that Snowflake with any members who are willing, and we can write a little Penny Boy psychology book about it. But Pookie said twice an overachiever, says Snowflake. Jeez. He had a back test being. Oh my god, I'm not reading chat anymore. Y'all are terrible. I'm like trying not to laugh because I'm like being recorded too. But I love Pookies and Snowflake. We all go way back, and so that's why we talk that way to each other. It's all out of love. Some people like watching this for the first time might be like, wow, this is a really toxic Discord. These people hate each other and they work together. Oh my god. I dug a Trent's hut into the side of a hill and raided some abandoned campsites for plastic and tarps. Just had to keep the snakes out. Gee, yeah, I don't do snakes. So for me, personally, my perception of money is a big reason why I struggle in the markets, because I'm very okay with high risk. I prefer high risk, high reward type styles of trading because I'm not going to go into it deeply, but I grew up in a very blessed life. My family has. I've never had to worry about eating the next day or whatever. For me, I don't have a lot of money in my bank account. That's a choice. It's not because of if I ran out of money, I would be okay. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And so for me, I don't have the same perception of money as some people who might respect it a little bit more. I'm okay throwing money into Uber's options day trade as much as possible and watching go to zero, like Mr. Top Hat, for example. And because of that, because of my perception of money and my upbringing, my experiences and all that kind of stuff, backgrounds, I need to be aware of, who I am as a person and how that could affect who I am as a trader. And, and realize I risk, I have this high risk, high reward mentality. It's not because of, XYZ. It's not because of, day trading versus swing trading, this, that, whatever. It's because of, my cognitive biases and experience and all this stuff. And so really doing a deep dive into yourself is how you can, really realize, what areas in the market that you might struggle with, why, and then how you can either manage it or just avoid it. Your friend Top Hat. Yeah, I know, right, Duco? Oh well. He's a degen. We're not a degen server. I stayed out of that whole process. I didn't even see what he said, to be honest with you. So I just stayed out of it. I was like, whatever. I have an invested interest since I talk to the guy all the time. But anyway, there's really there's no right or wrong way to trade. Is basically what I'm saying. Like for instance, Top Hat, he is very successful. I follow him on Facebook. I've seen, his cars and his vacations and all this kind of stuff, and he's very expressive about his money and all that kind of stuff. I've seen people who have more money than him. You wouldn't even be able to guess that they had that much money. And so, everyone is different with the way that they perceive money, the way they spend it, flaunt it, and the way that they trade it. And so it's important to be aware of that and realize, who am I, when it comes to, my perception of money and, why or how could this affect my trading? And then how can I, once again, manage that? It's kind of like going to the doctor and just, figuring out what your symptoms are and being like, all right, well, what can I do to either manage it or, what can I do to, once again, you can't heal some of them you might be able to heal, you have a scratch, you can put some Neosporin, whatever, and eventually it'll heal over time. You'll still be a scar, but you'll heal over time. And there's some stuff like diabetes, for instance, that you might have to learn how to manage. And so, the same thing goes to these emotions. Some of them you might be able to just kill, but some of them you might have to just learn how to manage. So perception of money in trading refers to an individual's. Take care, Daffy Duck. Once again, love the name. An individual's psychological relationship with money, how we value it, and how we perceive its significance. It's about the emotional and cognitive factors that influence a trader's decision making when it comes to investing and managing their funds, basically, aka risk management. So, our relationship with money is deeply personal, shaped by our upbringing, experiences, and cultural backgrounds for some as well. And we're going to be actually going over some exercises. Y'all will be answering some questions. You can either do it in the chats or privately to kind of see what types of trader profiles some of y'all might have or might be geared towards. We'll be doing that at the end of this class here. So there are three emotions in particular that could be affected by our perception of money. Well, the first one, of course, is fear of loss. So for some, the fear of losing money can be paralyzing. This fear often leads to overly conservative trading strategies. And once again, our upbringing and experiences, and we're going to be talking about that in a second, could have a lot to do with the fear of loss. People who, either come from a lot of money versus, didn't come from a lot of money might have a different perception of their fear of losing money and fear of loss. Greed is another one. On the other hand, greed is the opposite of fear, and that's the lure of large profits can lead to impulsive decisions and disregard for risk. And then there's the third one, which is indifference. So sometimes traders just may have a detached relationship with money, which could lead to more reckless behavior. So it's not even, greed. Oh, I need money. It's just I don't care about money, and I'll be reckless with it, which is different than greed and different than fear of loss. So it's important to know which emotions you might be struggling with when it comes to the market. Everyone's always going to say, risk management, fear of loss, greed, whatever, could be indifference. And that could be, once again, because of your perception, our perception of money. So understanding how we personally react to these emotional responses, which is, either fear of loss, greed, or indifference towards money. This is crucial, to understand how we personally react to these emotions, and our perception of money directly influences this, and it influences our risk tolerance and our risk appetite. We had a class, once again, it's in the pinned messages of our trading psychology channel, and that class actually went over risk tolerance and risk appetite in detail, and the importance of it, because everyone always talks about risk management. They don't talk about risk appetite and risk tolerance and all this other kind of stuff that really has to do with risk management and how you actually manage the risk. So to illustrate how upbringing, culture, and experiences could shape our perception of money and in turn our trading behavior, we can consider some hypothetical scenarios. So scenario one is the self-made trader. So their upbringing might be that they grew up in a low-income household and experienced financial hardship, but learned later in life how to trade successfully. So self-made. It wasn't because of the college that their parents sent them to. It wasn't because of the, massive amounts of money they got in inheritance. It was because, self-made. It's because they learned how to trade. They got out of, where they were. Their perception of money could be that, they value money highly as a means of security and independence. This can be due to the direct experience with financial hardship. So growing up in a low-income household often involves firsthand experience with challenges of making ends meet, paying bills, and providing for basic needs. And this firsthand experience can create a deep-rooted understanding of the importance of money as a tool for survival and stability. So once again, who we are, how we were raised, where we come from, all that stuff really does actually play a part in, how we trade and, what assets and strategies may or may not work, best for us. And that's some of the things that you just don't think about. We think about RSI and, reading a balance sheet. We don't think about, the amount of money I grew up with could affect how I look at money and in turn how I trade. And so this is the stuff that is really important to just to do a deep dive into really just think about. Okay, so another one, this could also be due to a fear of returning to financial hardship. So having experienced financial difficulties, there's a strong desire to avoid a return to those circumstances. So money becomes more of a protective shield against future instability for these types of traders. There's also independence. So financial independence is often seen as a way to break free from the constraints of a difficult upbringing. So money can symbolize the ability to make one's own choices and control one's life. For some people just don't have that, emotion. For them, the financial independence isn't about, being, like free and being independent of, your upbringing or your past, whatever. It's just, having financial independence is just a thing that you were taught in high school, whatever. It's different for a lot of people, and that's why, how we react in the markets is going to be different. So for risk tolerance, these kind of traders might be more risk tolerant due to a desire to overcome financial challenges, but also very cautious due to the fear of returning to poverty. And really, how they, what their risk tolerance is really going to be based off of who they personally are as a person, outside of just, how, what their financial situation was growing up, because everyone has different, just different personalities as well. So they could be, once again, this is a hypothetical situation, more disciplined and patient as a trader naturally, as patience can be developed through overcoming financial struggles. They could also be more risk aware than others, having experienced financial instability firsthand. Also, due to their background, they may be more inclined to focus on intrinsic value rather than speculative trading. So this type of trader might naturally do well with value investing, dividend investing, or even index fund investing due to the risk-averse nature of these styles of trading. That being said, they might be tempted and attracted by high risk, high reward styles of trading due to the desire to build wealth rapidly. So it's important to be aware what styles of trading works best for us as a trader, not which one sounds the most appealing. All right, so I'm going to ask 5 questions, or actually read 5 statements. And I want all of you for these 5 statements to, on a scale of 1 to 10, you can put it in the chat. You can do it, on your own. If you don't want to put it in the chat, just let me know what your, if you're either a 1, which is strongly disagree, or a 10, which is strongly agree, or somewhere in between. So 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. We got 5 questions. And what I want you to do is to see what your total number is. So we're going to do 5 of them. 1, strongly disagree, 10, strongly agree. The goal is to find what your total number is. So question number 1, or statement number 1. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree and 10 is strongly agree. What's your sleep number? Sorry, Pookie, that got me. I believe, all right, this is the statement. I believe that financial success is primarily determined by one's own efforts and not by luck or external factors. 1, strongly disagree. 10, strongly agree, and you can do in between. So once again, I believe that financial success is primarily determined by one's own efforts and not by luck or external factors. 1, strongly disagree. 10, strongly agree. All right, statement number 2. And look at that. We got a mix of answers. We got a few 10s right off the bat. We got 9. We got 3 from Pookie's. 0 from Porter. Oh, wait, that's from the sleep number. Okay. All right. So statement number 2. Remember, keep track of your total here. So, for instance, Fergie, so far your total is 10. And we'll go from there. So statement number 2 is I am comfortable taking calculated risks to achieve my financial goals. 1, strongly disagree. 10, strongly agree. You can do in between as well. Once again, is I am comfortable taking calculated risks to achieve my financial goals. Yeah, and 10 there from Pookie's this time. 10 from Facade. 8 from Volcuse HZ. Kenji got a 10. Stickman got 8. Farouk 5. Someone just deleted theirs. Farouk 5. Lord Jelly Sneeze 5. Fergie 10. So once again, a mix here. All right, statement number 3. Onrod says YOLO 10. Statement number 3 is I am patient and disciplined in my approach to investing or trading. Strongly disagree is 1. 10 is strongly agree. Once again, that's I am patient and disciplined in my approach to investing. We got a 1 there from Farouk, a 4 from Lord Jelly Sneeze. I love that name. Right in the middle with Volk QHZ with 5. Kenji 4 in the middle as well. Nikki says math. Investing 10, trading 7. That's totally fair, Fergie. Number 4 statement. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree. 10 is strongly agree. I value financial security and independence above all else. Once again, that's I value financial security and independence above all else. Yeah, Pookie. The all else is is very important. Yeah, that's the key right there. Is all else is I value financial security, independence above all else. Pookie's got that one or caught that as well. With this, yeah, you put 6 there. All right. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree. 10 is strongly agree. You can do in between. Last question is I have experienced significant financial hardship in the past. 1 is strongly disagree, and 10 is strongly agree. Once again, you do not have to put them in the chat. It's totally up to you. We got so it was like a 1 trillion from Pookie. I can't tell. There's no commas, but that's a big one. And yes, as Duco just did, let me see what your totals would be then. So Duco got a 43 total out of 50. That's 47 out of 50 from Fergie. 39 from Pookie's. And so a higher overall score indicates a greater similarity to the self-made trader profile. So let's see. Snowflake got 48. I was so poor I didn't even know I was poor. Damn, Nikki. What was the first question again? I feel like you're messing with me, Pookie. Don't worry, we got a bunch. We got a few more of these. Like some of y'all know, I came up with this class an hour or so ago, so we still have a few more. I have no idea if it's gonna go really long or be a short one with these last minute classes. When I was 10, I'm gonna stick with 3. Had high numbers and I picked 3. Oh, the first question. So a lot of that was I believe that financial success is primarily determined by one's own efforts and not by luck or external factors. I think luck has a lot to do with it. At least for me, it did. I thought I got free lunch because we were special. Like a school. Yes. Oh, finances are being impacted. I didn't know the kids didn't have meat with supper about a couple times a week. Yeah, it's wild. Like growing up in one area versus another. You just are so unaware of what is happening on the other side of the way. Birth lottery is one way to get rich. I lost that one though from the get. Yeah, I was lucky. See, I'm adopted, so I was born in Colombia. Probably my birth parents probably had nothing, and I was adopted at like 6 months old. So obviously I don't remember anything. By a very wealthy, very wealthy white family in Darien, Connecticut. So, same. I was born in Medellin, Colombia, and I don't speak I tried Spanish in high school, and I just wasn't good at it. So I took Latin instead, and it was a travesty to anyone who actually is Hispanic, knowing that I was born in Colombia and I can't speak Spanish, but it is what it is. So it wasn't necessarily the birth lottery, but it still works out for me. Making money moves in the nursery. Facts, though. I knew how to. They talk about finding generational wealth in the market. Well, yeah, you're right. I found it in the nursery. Talk about from rags to riches in a day. That's hilarious. I've never thought of it that way, Snowflake. Oh, we have an hour. It's 3:30, right? Yeah, no, we'll definitely be done before then. Fergie. I went to Puerto Rico just last month, and for those of you, I post pictures all the time of myself and my girlfriend Anna, also known as Mrs. Duck in the Discord, and we both look pretty Hispanic. She's also adopted. She's actually Samoan though. She just looks Hispanic. So the two of us walking around Puerto Rico, everybody and their mother is trying to speak Spanish to us. Like they come up to us and what I have no idea what's going on. So that's a very common occurrence, Fergie, to me. Is people coming up to me and trying to speak Spanish and then being just flabbergasted when I tell them I can't speak Spanish. So as a baby, yeah. I was 6 months old, so I do not remember being adopted. Obviously, my brother was also adopted from South Korea, but he was 2 months old. No, I'm sorry, he was 6 months old and I was 2 months old. I think either way, babies. But I do that in Florida. With that hair too. Yeah, right. Yeah, popped out with the hair. That's actually that was a since COVID thing. The hair pre-COVID, I had pretty short hair. You part Asian. No, technically, it's like Colombian, and then the other part would be I think Spain or Spanish or whatever, like from Spain, according to Ancestry.com. My best friend in high school was a very, very white person from the Upper East Side of Manhattan, so he looked very white. But being from the Upper East Side of Manhattan, he had a very good education, so he knew how to speak Spanish fluently. And so we would be walking, in Queens or whatever, in New York, and all the time people would come up to us and ask for directions. They look at me and ask something in Spanish, and then he would respond, and their faces. It's just so funny to watch it happen. All right, so scenario 2 is the trust fund kid. Don't worry, I'm not that. I did not come from that kind of money. I definitely not trust fund. Oh my God, Farouk, why? That's what school was like. That was all white people, and then me. I think there was one other person who wasn't white in my high school, but that was about it. I'm not actually being besides my brother, obviously, but I'm not kidding. not even exaggerating. So scenario 2 is the trust fund kids. So the upbringing, as a lot of us know, how trust fund kids, I'm not know firsthand, but it's highly documented that they grew up in wealthy families, never really experienced financial hardship, in their growing up life. Financial hardship, once again, obviously hardship comes in all different shapes and sizes. And they do have a very strong financial safety net. And having a big financial safety net definitely does change your perception on money, and then also your perception on risk in the market. Knowing that you can call dad or mom up or whatever, and have a few $1,000s sent to your bank account because whatever, it's a lot different than your last couple $1,000s that you might have, is the last couple $1,000s you actually have. And so that's gonna change how you react in the market and how you are in the market and just in life and just in general. So the perception of money for this scenario 2, the trust fund hypothetical kid, they may view money as abundant and less valuable. This could be due to a lack of experience with financial hardship. Having always had financial resources available, they may not fully appreciate the value of money. No, they're not hypothetical. But this one in particular I'm talking about is. It's all made up. It's all make believe. They're actually aliens. So this could be due to once again, lack of experience in financial hardship, but also entitlement mentality. Growing up in a privileged environment can sometimes foster a sense of entitlement. And even that in the market, when you're learning how to trade, if you have a sense of entitlement, you might think that you're going to learn to do it really fast. You're going to be really good at it because you're told your whole life you're good at everything. And so, and then when you realize that the market is hard for everybody, and that the amount of money you had growing up doesn't mean that you're going to be really good in the market. Obviously, with people who are trust fund kids, they can just throw millions of dollars into dividends and call it a day and be fine. But the point being is that when it comes to learning how to actually trade, your confidence and overconfidence and humility has a lot to do with it. So their risk tolerance might be higher due to a lack of understanding of financial consequences. They lose $10,000 today in the market, whatever, like who cares to them? That's a nickel. It's not going to move the needle on their bank account. And they're not going to lose sleep over it. Whereas, if I lost $10,000, thousands of dollars in the market, whatever, I would be tossing and turning them, all night and the next day. Because it's all about, the amount of money you have in your bank account, really does impact, how you are in the market. So the trust fund trader might show impulsivity, a focus on short-term gains, and a lack of discipline compared to the self-made trader. They might be more drawn to speculative investments and high risks, high reward opportunities such as crypto, day trading options, day trading, and leverage trading. They might also be okay holding on to losses, big losses, and averaging down. They might be okay with, doing the whole top hat mentality. They might struggle with long-term investing that takes patience. And so once again, we got 5 questions here, and I want y'all to answer from 1 to 10. 1 being I strongly disagree, 10 being I strongly agree. So these are going to be statements 1 through 10. 10 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. And keep track of what your total number is. I want to turn all your kids into trust fund kids. That's the goal right there, Pookie. All All right. So statement number one: I believe that financial success is primarily determined by factors beyond my control, such as family wealth or connections. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Once again, that statement is I believe that financial success is primarily determined by factors beyond my control, such as family, wealth, or connections. So, primarily determined. I mean, don't get me wrong, family, wealth, and connections definitely do help with financial success, but everyone does have different perceptions, of course. 2, 1, 5, 5, 6, 5, 7. See, yeah, 10 for everyone had very different answers on this one. Exactly, Pookie. Jesus, Farouk. All right, so next question or statement is I am comfortable taking significant risks in pursuit of high returns. I am comfortable taking significant risks in pursuit of high returns. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. 10 says Pookies, 1 like a muff, says Nikki. 6, Farouk got 10, as we know. I'm definitely 10. I don't like the consequences of it when it doesn't work out, but it is what it is. Stickman 6, Kenji's 1, Fasega 8.8. Interesting. 3 from Fergie, 5 from Breckel. The calculator risks. 10 of small allocations. Yeah, that's the risk management right there. So next one is I prioritize short-term gains over long-term wealth. Once again, is I prioritize short-term gains over long-term wealth building. So prioritizing short-term gains over long-term wealth. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. We got a 1-1-1, so 3 disagrees right off the bat. So, we got a 6 from Stickman, 5 from Farouk, 3 from Fasaid, 5 from Kenji. Porter says I can't pay attention. Yes, I prioritize short-term gains over long-term wealth building. Want to eat the fish, not the worm. Oh, I cannot eat fish. Like when they serve fish with a head on it, that is not my jam. Chicken head is in this. All right. Statement number 4 is I have a strong belief in my ability to succeed financially regardless of market conditions. For me, the market conditions don't matter because I have such little money in the market. And once again, it's 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. I have a strong belief in my ability to succeed financially regardless of market conditions. 10 when my psych doesn't mess me up instead. 10, probably irrationally. Fair enough. 8 from Porterhouse. And the last one is I have always had access to substantial financial resources. I have always had access, always, not currently or in the past. I've always had access to substantial financial resources. Some people had it in the beginning of their lives and then lost it, towards the end. Some people didn't have it in the beginning of their lives and then lost it towards the end. And it's those who have always, without any question, had substantial financial resources. Those are the ones who, really had it good and lucky, not lucky, but maybe lucky. So once again, I've always had access to substantial financial resources. I used to borrow money from Duck. That $5 whiff coin that I sent you is not borrow. That's yours. So if it goes to 1 million, that's all you. Just robbing people count. Yeah, I guess that technically is access. Like even just having if you grew up and you never had to worry about paying for a college degree because you knew that your mom was going to get you even later in life that's well, that could be access to substantial financial resources right there. $7. Look at that. 7.18 off of $5 that you won. We'll be doing more of those crypto giveaways too. Once we get back from Florida, we're doing a Solana 101 session. I'll give away some more Solana meme coins. We'll do some Near protocol ones as well next after that with a special guest. My crypto is with you now. Y'all coming back from Florida. Soul spot bag, hey. Took me 18 years to finish a 4-year degree because I could only afford to take 1 or 2. Hey, you did it and you finished it. I mean, every member, some members here have all the time in the world. Some are retired, and so some members have are working 60 hours a week. So everyone's on different playing fields, or however you want to call it. And so that's why we were always preach here in Penny Boys. You're not competing against anybody else. You're only competing against your past self. The only person that you want to be better than in trading or compare yourself to is who you were yesterday and last week and last month and last year. That's who you want to be better than. You don't want to be better than XYZ person. Maybe Jim Cramer. Causes over everything else in your life. And yeah, exactly. And yeah, see, these are things, like things like this that we, about, things about ourselves, like the fact that, you had the perseverance, to, and patience, to take all those classes, that could maybe translate into who you are as a trader or who you, how you could succeed as a trader, different strategies. You clearly are able to, have patience and long-term goals, when it came to your education. So, if that can transfer over into finances, then, you might be very successful in certain types of trading that involves patience and, like the rags to riches type trading. I dropped out of high school because I needed to work. And shoot, what time is this? Is this stream at 3:30 or 3? I think it's 3:30. Yeah, okay, good. We still have some time. I dropped out of high school because I needed to work and eat and take care of my mother and stepfather. And then a decade later, I dropped out of college twice because it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I also have not finished college. It was just, I just did not like it. I was like, this is stupid. They're not teaching us the stuff that I think that they should be teaching us, this, that, whatever. Do I wish I had the piece of paper? Yeah. Do I regret, doing what I did? No, not even a little bit. I mean, that being said, my brother went to college and he's an engineer for Lockheed Martin now. So there is that. But everyone's different. Someone says the beach garage. No one will give you give you chance without a degree, although you have it. Yeah, exactly. Give you your check. Thank you, Chuck. I was struggling there with reading that one. Yeah, and that's why I wish I had the piece of paper. It's just because of that. I've been blessed where I've had good network, and so I've always been able to get a job that was good and paid well and whatever. I've also just been lucky to be really good at whatever job I did and end up all the places I've worked at. Obviously, prior here, and I've always been on like the top of the staff or whatever you want to call it. Here it's everyone's amazing. Other places I've had bad coworkers, I guess, where it's like you're clearly better than other coworkers. Having won something to check. 2 degrees, taught my business school. Hey, worked and paid it all off. That's what's up. Once you learn how to learn, you can do anything except stuff you need to access. Yeah, it's all about learning how to learn, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. The college way isn't the best or the right way to do it. A lot of people who my friends' dads and moms, whatever, living in those really wealthy areas, a lot of them didn't have degrees. A lot of them who had, honestly, it's the people who had the most money were the ones who didn't have the degrees. Everyone else, that was in like the middle of the pack. They had their degrees, engineers and this, that, whatever. But it was the entrepreneurs who are the ones who had the FU money, and trading is a form of entrepreneurship, and so that's something to be said there. I picked up cigarette butts from restaurants, parking lots for food. That's yeah. So scenario 3 is the experienced professional trader. So this trader grew up in a middle-class family with a solid financial foundation. Their perception of money could be that they value money as a tool for financial independence. Oh, wait, once again, what was your totals for those 5 questions before we? Yeah, 29. You want a hug from me? So remember, this is the higher score overall indicates a greater similarity to the trust fund kid trader profile. The high risk, high reward, maybe a a different perception of money than the self-made one that we were talking about earlier. Obviously, I'm not like duck, says Farouk. What is this? Breaking. The SCC is filed a lawsuit. Andrew left. Okay. Fraud. Gotta love it. 29, 2018. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of you got higher on the self-made one as opposed to the trust fund one, which honestly is better for traders, when it comes to mastering trading. That that mindset, the one that y'all got higher on, is actually a lot better than the latter. So scenario 3, once again, the experienced professional trader. They could value money as a tool for financial independence and lifestyle enhancement. This could be due to practical financial education. Having grown up in a stable financial environment, they likely received practical financial education and developed a healthy respect for money. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone in America is really given a proper practical financial education, no matter what school you go to, unless it's from your mom or dad. But there are some, areas that, you learn, more than in others, of course. And PBU is exactly that. Especially those lifetime streams with Big Daddy, NHM, the financial literacy ones. Those are freaking this is so valuable. And balanced perspective also for the experienced professional trader could be a reason that they value money as a tool for financial independence and lifestyle enhancement. So without the extremes of poverty or excessive wealth, they tend to have a more balanced perspective on money. And so the risk tolerance could be typically moderate, balancing the potential for profit with the risk of loss. And so the experienced professional trader often possesses a blend of knowledge, experience, and discipline. They may have a strong understanding of market dynamics and risk management strategies. They could excel in most strategies like swing trading, day trading, options, and crypto. This is a very well-rounded type of trader. Of course, certain life events could change this, such as a significant financial loss or gain. I think maybe Mr. Stock Lock Profits would be probably the closest style of trading to this type of trader. The overall just consistently good at most things like swing trading, day trading, options, crypto, whatever it is, because he has a pretty base, he has a nice base understanding of financial literacy and just finances in general. I'm pretty sure he has a finance degree, which is why he does, he has a good general knowledge of all things when it comes to finance, and is able to quickly pick up on different things like crypto and options and all that kind of good stuff. So once again, 5 questions. We're going to go through these next few a little bit quicker since we have only 30 minutes left, and I want to make sure we do the giveaways. So once again, these are 5 statements. I want you to be answering them 1 through 10, 1 being I strongly disagree and 10 being I strongly agree. And at the end, you want to tally up all the numbers that you get. So the total number you get. It's going to be out of 50. All right. So question, not 1, not 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 50. Not question, but statement 1 is I have a solid understanding of financial markets and investment strategies. Once again, that's I have a solid understanding of financial markets and investment strategies. So those of you like Pookies who has 10, maybe that's because of the coaching program or whatever you learned prior. For those of you who might not be quite there, then that might be a reason to really invest some time into either the free coaches program, the Rags to Riches and Austin's Monday streams and the trading psychology streams, or even the premium stuff as well. 10 from Breckle, love it. Farouk says I don't have a coach. We know that you and Ethan tight like thieves, you and your coach. I never want to be like Pookies. Yeah, Ethan is a very interesting perspective compared to some of the other analysts here, being as that he's still in college and he's still in the whole process of all the stuff that we're talking about, your upbringing and all that. I know. So we do have we do have every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pookie, but we do have a Rags to Riches stream every Friday. That is a free stream. It's very similar to the coaching program, and as well as every Monday with Austin Big Quench. She does a free stream as well. The Rags to Riches one is the most similar to the coaching one, but for the premium coaches, which is Lee, Swinging Bull, Ethan, and Jay, those are the premium. So this is number one. So once again, the first statement was I have a solid understanding of financial markets and investment strategies. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Statement 2 is I'm able to balance risk and reward in my investment decisions. Once again, this I am able to balance risk and reward in my investment decisions. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. I am able to balance risk and reward in my investment decisions. The big part about balancing risk and reward is understanding the trades you're getting into and why you're getting into them and the strategy behind it and having confidence in that A+ strategy. And if you don't have that A+ strategy and that A+ setup, there's a good chance you're going to have doubt in your trades and have a hard time balancing your risk to your reward, because these are your risks and your reward. If you're getting to these trades and you're not very confident they're going to either do what you go up or down to whatever it is, and you're just kind of guessing, well, your risk and reward is going to be very just wish-washy, because it's not based off of any actual kind of analysis or strategy. It's just based off of what you're hoping may or may not happen. When you have really determined, predetermined risk and reward areas based off of charts, fundamentals, whatever it may be, then you are able to have more confidence in balancing that risk and reward, because it's actual risk and reward based off of actual, reasons. My jar is made of freaking titanium. So once again, that's I am able to balance risk and reward in my investment decisions. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Next one is I prioritize long-term financial planning over short-term gains. I know Pookie's is a 10 on this one. I prioritize long-term financial planning over short-term gains. I am definitely not a 10 on that one. One day, though. 10 from Fergie. There's a Rags to Riches person there. Remember there? Why do you keep attacking me, Duck? Trust me, Nikki, I'm attacking myself on these ones too. Especially that one. Prioritize long-term financial planning over short-term gains. Number 4, statement 4 is I believe that success in trading requires a combination of knowledge, experience, and discipline. I believe that success in trading requires a combination of knowledge, experience, and discipline. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Once again, 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Bunch of 10s in the chat. Breckles has a 9. And the last one here is I have a moderate risk tolerance and avoid impulsive decisions. I have a moderate risk tolerance and I avoid impulsive decisions. I'm not sure you were 40 on this. I have, yeah. What the heck is that for? So avoid impulsive decisions. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. And so what is your totals here out of 50? We have 5 questions, 1 through 10. What's your total? Compound question. That's my throat. And then we got one more scenario here with one more, and then one other extra prompt or exercise, and then we got some giveaways. 26 from Farouk. And for those who have a higher score overall, it indicates a greater similarity to the experienced professional trader profile. So like the overall trader, very similar to Mr. Stocklock Kravitz. 44 from Fergie. Pretty high, says White Goodman. Nice. Dumpster Cap. And Wreck Richard. 33 from James Wavy. $41 from Breckel. All right, so we got 30 minutes left here. The last scenario here is the traumatized trader. So this could be a trader that experienced a significant financial loss due to a market crash, job loss, or other financial crisis. Their perception of money. They could value money as a source of security and stability with a strong aversion to loss. This could be due to traumatic financial experience. The individual has suffered a severe financial setback, leading to a deep-seated fear of financial instability. It also could be due to a loss of trust. The event may have eroded trust in the financial markets or maybe even in their investment strategies. So after a big loss in the market or life or whatever, you might have a lack of trust in this case, in trading, in investing. You're not trust anymore because you just had a big loss in trading. Just like if you had a big loss, a big job loss, you might not trust the next job that you have. You might be always keeping your options open because you might be worried that that could happen again. And just being aware that that might be one of the emotions that you're feeling, and that emotion could be one of the reasons why you're getting out of place early, stopping out too soon, or whatever it may be. Is very important. Figuring out the reasons why XYZ happened negatively in the market. Why our trade didn't work out. It's not just the trade didn't work out, and that's too bad. You want to figure out what are the emotions that are making this happen, and how can I manage them, or how can I find a style of trading that works for me. Once again, Tom Brady, amazing football player, but if he played running back, he would not be an amazing football player, might not be looked upon as an amazing football player. It's all about finding your strategy, just like it's about finding your position. Their risk tolerance could be extremely low, with a strong preference for safety and predictability due to not wanting to lose money again. On the opposite hand, certain emotions or upbringings could lead towards a longing to risk everything to get it all back. So for those of you who've been through a big loss in trading, which person are you? Are you the one to, for the next few trades, either you're just not going to touch the market, or you're going to be really, 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 really heavy on the risk aversion, not trying to put any risk because you're afraid of losing again? Or are you the type who you lost, made a big loss and you're like, all right, time just to YOLO and go all in on this next trade and win it all back? Or something in between? Now, me personally, I usually am the type that just takes a break. I'll take a week or so off. White Gun says yes. It's a gambler. That is true, James Levy. The traumatized trader often exhibits extreme behaviors. Kenji says rest and recovery. That's exactly how I look at it. Yeah. So this type of trader might focus on preserving capital rather than pursuing significant returns. I go for a walk and clear the mind. Maybe go. Yeah, I you probably see me post pictures in the $500 account. Follow along. Like whenever any kind of mistake happens in this channel for my account, I'll post a picture of me on a walk because that's exactly what I do. I'm like, I need to step away from this trigger. If you look at your mouse as like a trigger to a gun, it helps put things into perspective. People in the police force, have to be very careful. You have to be highly trained, and if you're feeling, if you're feeling off, you might not go to work because you don't want to end up being on the news for shooting somebody that didn't need to get shot. Well, same thing with trading. If you are feeling a certain emotion, you just had a big loss, whatever, maybe it's a good time to take a break because you don't want to, obviously not be on the news, but you don't want to, have your portfolio completely go to zero. I took a few days off, says Fergie. And so, once again, the traumatized trader often exhibits extreme behavior, focusing on preserving capital rather than pursuing significant returns. They may struggle to overcome the emotional impact of the financial loss and may require additional support to rebuild their financial confidence. So, if this is you, then Rags to Riches is the perfect place for you to restart your trading journey. It's a great strategy and a great mindset for building back and just putting back together the pieces of a broken trader psychology from a big loss. That's what happens to a lot of us. After a big loss, our psychology just breaks. And then we go back in the market with this broken psychology. And of course, we're going to end up losing more and having bigger losses and eventually quit because we're trading with a broken psychology. It's like trying to play baseball with a broken bat. you put some tape over it. If the next swing is going to break again. You're not going to get anywhere with that. And so the whole thing with rags to riches is throwing away that bat, getting a new one, and figuring out which bat works best for you. Whether it's the size or the weight or whatever. You want to figure out what bat works best for you. You don't want to just keep using that broken bat. Because as we just said before, it's going to keep breaking. And so rags to riches is once again the perfect place to put together those broken pieces of your trader psychology, of your mindset, so that you can then go into the market whole again and experience ideally wins, as opposed to just completely tanking your portfolio. Because it's easy to tank your portfolio when you go into the market not whole, when your psychology is not whole, because you had a big loss or whatever it may be, or something happened in life. It doesn't have to be the market. It could be a big loss in life. You lost a loved one or lost a job or whatever. Your part of your psychology is going to be broken, so you got to figure out a way to put it back together before you go back into the market. It's easy to push that button. You look at that button, that mouse as a loaded gun. So all it takes is 1 or 2 clicks, and you can lose all your money if you're not careful. So once again, we got some questions here. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree to these statements. And you want to keep track of what your total number is going to be. It's going to be out of 50 since there's 5 questions. Statement number 1 is I have experienced a significant financial setback that has impacted my overall well-being. So that question, once again, 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. I have experienced at one point in my life a significant financial setback that has impacted my overall well-being. This doesn't have to be just in the stock market. It could be losing a job. It could be COVID happened. It could be, maybe you don't have health insurance and something happened to your health and you had to go to the hospital, and you live in America, and so you're broke now because of that. I live in America, by the way, so I'm not like talking trash about some other countries' healthcare system. That's the one that I'm in. Yeah, there you go. Back surgery. There's so many different reasons and ways that these financial hardships could happen. Once again, this is different than the trader who the self-made trader who had the hardship just growing up. They're born into the hardship. This could be someone who might have been a trust fund kid who lost everything, or it could have been the type that we're talking about earlier, the experienced professional trader who lost everything. It could have been they lost their job, they lost their whatever it may be. Probably 10 if I feel like I spent too much for something. Yeah, that's another thing too, is how we spend our money as well. Number 2 is I prioritize capital preservation over potential gains. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. I prioritize capital preservation over potential gains. So I care more about saving my money and keeping my money than I do about making more money with that money. It's like, I know I can make money in the market, but I'd rather just keep it safe, just keep it in my bank account. I don't trust the market. I don't trust putting it, trading. That would be someone who prioritizes capital preservation over potential gains. And a lot of that could happen because of a big loss. They don't trust the market anymore. They give up on the market, basically. And it's very easy to do. That's why 90% of traders end up quitting. Because once again, it's easy to give up. It's easy to quit when you are trading, when you're not whole. And that's why we have Rags to Riches. That's why we have the Trading Psychology every Wednesday, and these classes to help you build your confidence and make your psychology whole again, so you can go into the market and succeed, ideally. Number 3, and once again, 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Make sure to keep track of what your total score is going to be. 3 is I find it difficult to trust financial markets and investment advice. I find it difficult to trust financial markets and investment advice. 1 is strongly disagree, 10 is strongly agree. Yeah, that's right. I'm at Reclam at 5. And I literally, I teach PBU, and I still have difficulty trusting investment advice, except for some from, there are certain areas now I do trust, but if I go on Webull or anywhere else, like, I'm not trusting half of or 90% of the stuff that I see out there when it comes to investment decisions investment advice. Healthily skeptic, yes. Because I mean, it's easy for somebody to make money their way and then say, hey, you can do it too, and then because you're not them, it just doesn't happen. So very healthfully skeptic when it comes to that. Tobias for following trades if I know the track record. That's fair. Yeah, it takes me a while to really trust somebody with financially speaking. So like that's why it took me a while. And now obviously I trust the people here, like the shot callers here, obviously. But when I first started, I definitely didn't. I'll tell you that. Home and sitting still. Next one is I experience anxiety or fear when making investment decisions. I experience anxiety or fear when making investment decisions. One is like none of the, like I never experience anxiety or fear when I'm trading. 10 would be every single trade I make, I have some kind of anxiety, some kind of fear. It could be a small anxiety or fear, and you could be managing that anxiety and fear. You could have anxiety and fear, and it could be not affecting you at all negatively because you're managing, because you're aware of it and you're managing it. Just like we talked about how people who you get a cut, you can learn how to if you get a cut, you can go to the doctor, whatever, they can fix it for you, heal it for you, whatever. There are certain diseases like diabetes, which you're not going to be able to heal. You're going to have to learn how to manage. And so there are some emotions, anxiety, fear, whatever, that we are human. We're going to feel them. And so it's not about trying to never feel anxiety or never feel fear. It's about learning how to manage it, whether it's when you have fear, realizing, all right, well, I have a strategy that I'm confident in. I can look at my track record. Oh, the last 3 years I've been making money doing this strategy. I can take a deep breath. I can whatever my steps are to overcome and manage that that fear and anxiety. I can do it, and then I can go about my trade and with confidence and without that fear and doubt. Or for some people, they just don't have it. They learn to just get rid of it, and they don't have any anxiety or fear anymore. And it could be because they're just so uberly confident in their trading, and that's amazing. That's the goal, What's going on board? 984. And this is the last one is I have difficulty recovering from investment losses. 1 is strongly disagree. 10 is strongly agree. I have difficulty recovering from investment losses. So 1 is strongly disagree. 10 is strongly agree. So if you're a 10, that means that you personally just have, if you have a loss in the market, you need to take like a year off. Otherwise, you're going to end up probably losing again. Let me see. And make sure to also put your totals in for this one. Recovering how emotionally? Emotionally, yes. Yeah, no, not monetarily speaking. I'm talking about emotionally. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, you lost $1,000, make $1,000 back. I'm talking about I have difficult recovering emotionally speaking from investment losses. No worries, sport. We're talking about perception of money and how our perception of money could impact our risk management and just different strategies that we might be either not better, but more geared towards versus less geared towards. So right now we're talking about the traumatized trader, which is a trader who went through either traumatic financial setback. So what are your totals here? Let's see. 18 says Farouk. 16 says Yoda Bomb. 28 if I got the high, low, agree, disagree right. Yep. Fergie 32, 33 from Breckle. And so once again, a higher overall score indicates a greater similarity to the traumatized trader profile. So we got 15 minutes left here. So it's clear that our perceptions of money, shaped by our experiences and background, significantly impact our trading decisions and ultimately our success. So remember, trading is as much a mental game as it is a numbers game. Understanding your own biases, fears, and motivations is crucial for developing a winning strategy. By recognizing your dominant trader profile, you can tailor your approach to a better way to suit your personality and goals. It's also essential to have a balance between your emotions and your analytical mind. So while passion and determination based off of your past are important, they must also be mixed with discipline and risk management. So now we got the last thing here is 10 questions. And I want you to keep track of your answers here as well. They're gonna be There can be a question, and then the answer is gonna be either A, B, C, or D. Just keep track of how many A's, B's, C's, and D's you get out of these 10 questions. So we're gonna do 10 questions. Just remember, I was like, oh, I got 8 A's and one B and one C or whatever. That's what you're trying to remember here. So you can write it down or whatever. You put it in the chat, however you want to do that. So question 1 is, how do you typically approach risk in your trading? A, I am cautious and prioritize capital preservation. B, I am comfortable taking risks for potentially high rewards. And I'm going to put this in the chat as well. C, let me just post that. I balance risk and reward, aiming for consistent returns. And D, I often take on more risk than I should. So once again, you can answer either A, B, C, or D. And the question is, how do you typically approach risk in trading? So you can either do that on the chat, or you can just put it in your notes. Remember, we're going to be tracking how many A's, B's, C's, and D's you get. Next is, what is your primary investment horizon? Long-term, focusing on fundamental analysis. Short-term, seeking quick profits. C is medium-term, balancing growth and stability. And D is varies depending on market conditions. So A is long-term, B is short-term, C is medium-term, and D is it really just depends on the market. This is, what is your primary investment horizon? Like, what are you focused on when it comes to your trading? Choose all you have or both. I guess just do the one that reaches actually do the most, like the one that is, I guess, would be the most. I guess for this, for this one, you have D there, which would be varies depending on the market conditions. That could be like a mix. Next one is, how do you react to market volatility? A, I become cautious and reduce my exposure. And this is, once again, is what do you do the most of, or what is the most important to you? B, I see it as an opportunity to profit from price fluctuations. C is, I maintain a balanced approach, adjusting my positions as needed. And D is, I become anxious and make impulsive decisions. So when the market becomes volatile, meaning it moves up and down very fast, are you cautious? Do you reduce your exposure? You're taking money out of the market. You don't want to deal with it. Do you see it as an opportunity to make money because the price is going up and down? You can make money off of the trades. That's B. C is kind of a balanced approach, doing a little bit of each. And then D is, I don't know what to do because market volatility makes me really anxious and I freak the F out. I want to do this quickly so we can do the giveaway still. What is your primary motivation for trading? A, financial security and independence. B, the thrill of the chase and quick profits. C, building long-term wealth and financial freedom. And D, a combination of financial gain and personal satisfaction. For me, I think it's D. For me, it's like a mix of B and D, honestly. Once I have kids and stuff, obviously I'll have more reasons to care about long-term financial wealth and all that kind of stuff. But once again, that's who we are, what we are and what we have, our schedules and all that. It really does determine our mindsets and our psychology and what we do in the market. Some people have a bunch of kids and a family that they need to worry about and they want to worry about, and that's going to just impact their decision making in the market. Next question is, how important is research and analysis in your trading process? A, I conduct thorough research before making investment decisions. B is, I rely on technical analysis and market sentiment. C is, I combine fundamental and technical analysis for informed decisions. And D is, I often make impulsive decisions based off intuition. So A is basically, I look at everything. I do all the research available possible. I don't, maybe even over analysis paralysis type deal. B is I rely on technical analysis. So, what's going on in the charts and what people are saying in the comment section. C is a combination of fundamental and technical analysis. C is kind of like A, but without the without being on steroids. Basically, like A is basically C on steroids. It's like the obsessive version of C. And then D is I just do whatever. I make impulsive decisions. I don't really do any research. If it's going up, if I think it's going up, I'm gonna buy it. Price of Mad Maverick gives me, that's fair. Next question is, how do you handle losses? Remember, keep track of how many A, B's, C's, and D's you get here. How do you handle losses? A, I carefully analyze my mistakes and adjust my strategy. B is I quickly move on to the next opportunity. C is I evaluate the loss in context and adjust my position size accordingly. And D is I become emotionally invested and make impulsive decisions. So when you have a loss, do you A, carefully analyze what happened and figure out how you can adjust your strategy to not let it happen again? B, do you just say, all right, well, it happened, on to the next trade? C, and that's B. And then C, do you evaluate the loss in context? And so, this is basically just saying, all right, this is, what the market was telling me. This is why I entered. And then adjust your position size accordingly. So maybe I put too much in or too little in. And then D is become emotionally invested and make impulsive decisions. Basically, D is, are you one to, when you have a loss, let that affect your next trade by just YOLOing, trying to make money back, or being way too afraid because of that loss and stopping out too early or taking profits too early. What is your preferred investment style? A is value investing, which is focusing on undervalued assets. B is momentum trading, capitalizing on price trends. C is diversification, or having a diversified portfolio, balancing different asset classes. And D is a mix of strategies based on market conditions. So C and D are similar. C is more diversified. Just, I trade crypto, I trade options, stocks, swing trade, day trade, whatever. D is more so I trade based off of what the market is giving me. If we're in a bullish market, maybe I'll do more day trading. For a bearish market, maybe I'll get some more long-term investment, whatever it may be. As D is I base it off of the market, whereas C is more so I just kind of diversify no matter what the market's telling me. I still have, I diversify into crypto and stocks and options and day trading versus swing trading. Next question is, how do you manage your emotions during trading? A is I use disciplined strategies to control my emotions. B is I let emotions guide my trading decisions. C is I strive for emotional detachment but acknowledge its impact. And D is I find it difficult to manage my emotions effectively. Which one is most like you when it comes to managing your emotions during trading? Do you use disciplined strategies, which would be A? Do you let the emotions take the best of you, which is B? Do you strive to have emotional detachment, acknowledging what happens when you are emotional? But maybe not. C is kind of like A, but I'm not quite there yet. A is I use a disciplined strategy no matter what. C is I want to, but I'm not quite there yet. And D is I find it difficult to manage my emotions effectively. So once again, D and B. B is like a bigger version of D would be B. Two more questions left. We got 9 minutes. So here's that one. What is your attitude towards financial planning? A, long-term financial planning is essential for my success. B, I focus on short-term gains and adjust my plans accordingly. C, I balance long-term goals with short-term opportunities. And D, I have not developed a formal financial plan. So you're into long-term, you're into short-term, or are you into more of a balanced approach? Or do you not even know yet? You're just, you might have just started out, or you're just kind of trading whatever comes to you. The last one is, how would you describe your overall trading approach? Cautious and disciplined, aggressive and opportunistic, balanced and adaptable, or impulsive and emotionally driven? And just like Farouk just did, let us know how many A's, B's, C's, and D's you got. So Farouk got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 D's, 3 B's, and a C and an A, it looks like. So which one do you have the most? It looks like Duco has the most for C's. Breckle is heavy on the C's and the B's. So for those who got a lot of A would be more of the risk-averse trader or the traumatized trader that we were talking about before. This is, remember, the trader who went through a big financial loss somewhat recently. That is people who got more on the A side might be more relatable towards that type of trader. For B, that would be more the day trader or the trust fund kid trader that we were talking about earlier. Remember that for those who just joined, we had to talk about a whole different types of trader profiles, and trust fund kid trader was one of the scenarios we talked about. So if you have a lot of B's, that might be more might be more towards what you are leaning towards. C, I see Duco got a lot of C's. That is more of the experienced professional trader profile type that we talked about earlier. Once again, that's experienced professional trader. That was the second to last one that we went over in this class. This class is recorded, by the way. And D is a combination of traits potentially indicating inconsistency or a mix of different profiles. Or on the opposite end, it could mean that you have a strong balance of different profiles. So it could either mean that you're bouncing, or, it really is. Are you finding success or not? If you are finding success, then this could mean that, or this could indicate that you have a good balance of these different types of combinations of traits. If you are not finding success, it might mean that you are trying too much. You're just bouncing all around the place. You need to maybe learn to focus, on one type of style of trading as opposed to just doing the analysis paralysis, as they call it. Stickman got 4 Bs. The trust fund kid. Stickman's our resident trust fund trader. No, it's also just day trader as well. So it's also just means that you have a higher tolerance of risk or a higher risk appetite, which is nice. And yeah, for those who got C, the experienced professional trader, it might mean just a more balanced approach to trading. But yeah, let me go ahead and stop the recording. We got 5 minutes